there, Swahili Nation family. I am Wangel Zalalem and this is Recap. So today I want us to start with Antony Blinken, who was the U.S. Secretary of State visiting African countries, and what he said. So the U.S. Secretary of State has said Washington will not dictate which choices Africa should make, and neither should anyone else. He also said African nations have been treated as instruments of other nations' progress rather than the author of their own. He also disclosed the strategy Biden's administration has for Africa, specifically the sub-Saharan African countries. And, as always, on paper it looks good, but when it comes to the reality, it doesn't actually reflect what they promise us or what they say. He's saying here in his statement that he believes Africans should be seen as equals and Africans should not be, be given directions, they should not be dictated. But in the same week, the U.S. ambassador to the UN came to Africa and told African countries if they deal with Russia, especially when it comes to oil or gas, they're gonna face consequences. That's an actual threat. So I don't know how, the same government can say one thing on the one hand and another thing on the other. Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone violence condemned as curfew imposed. Leaders of the West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS have condemned the violence that erupted in various parts of Sierra Leone on Wednesday. Sierra Leone have been rallying against the high cost of living, corruption, and police brutality. There are also calls for President Julius Maada Bio to step down. Some protesters and policemen were killed on the third day of violent protests that have taken place in the capital Freetown as well as several other towns. This is what happens when there's bad governance, when the people get tired, when there's corruption, when there's unemployment. If the government is not doing their job right, obviously the people are going to feel some type of way. They might be quiet, they might be silent for a period of time, but once they get tired and they start protesting, and once they start going out in the streets to make their message clear, then it's going to be hard to bring back peace, because the people that were quiet for the longest time are the same people that are going to bring down bad leaders. Afrobeat singer Kizz Daniel apologizes for a no-show concert. Nigerian Afrobeat star of hit song Buga, Kizz Daniel has apologized to Tanzanians for failing to show up for a performance there over the weekend. He was supposed to sing at the Summer Amplified show but could not make it due to what he described as circumstances beyond his control, including flight issues and missing equipment. He said, "I must apologize to the fans. None of that was intentional. I didn't mean to disrespect the fans." So Kizz Daniel was supposed to perform in Tanzania. People bought their tickets, they were there waiting for him, and he didn't show up. So a lot of people were angry, and the promoter came out and actually said that Kizz Daniel didn't perform because he didn't have his gold chain, but then again came out a day later and said no, that's not the case, it's because of the promoters and also the flight not getting there on time. That's what they're saying. It's a bit conflicting, but it doesn't matter. What matters is if you make a promise to make it somewhere, you have to, especially as a Nigerian artist playing in Tanzania, performing in Tanzania, you have to respect the people you are going there to perform to, because they paid good money to go there and watch you, and it's not going to reflect well. But if he really couldn't have made it and the flight was delayed and what the promoter was saying was not accurate, then at the end of the day things happen. What he needs to do is make sure that he gives the performance on a later date and makes it up to the fans. Ethiopia. Ethiopia starts power generation from second turbine at Mega Dam. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed kick-started electricity production from the second turbine at its controversial Mega Dam on the Blue Nile on Thursday, despite continuing objections by Egypt and Sudan over the project. Abiy also confirmed that a third filling of the multi-billion-dollar Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam was underway, a development that led Egypt last month to protest to the UN Security Council. We all know how important this dam is for the survival of Ethiopians, and it's going to help us get out of the poverty that we are in right now. And it's just a really good news. Unfortunately, neighboring countries like Egypt and Sudan seem to have a problem with it, even if time and time again the Ethiopian government assured them that there's not going to be any change and they're not going to be affected. They don't seem to believe that, and they keep taking this case to the West to deal with it. And it's unfortunate, but it's truly a good news for Ethiopians. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about the recap. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you next week. Bye.